Alrighty, cool. Let me just go ahead and first remind you guys what this game is. That's Biohazard, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'll give Mom with a countdown in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so this is Resident Evil. This is the first game, and I am playing the PC version of it, which for a long time didn't work on modern computers, so thanks to efforts by Super Gamer to get a patch that makes it work properly. This is a survival horror game, so a good majority of the speed tech for this game is going to come down to 3 main things, which are movement, inventory, and dodging. And there are a lot of little stuff in between, but we'll talk about that when it comes to it. The first thing that I have to talk about, though, is the PC version. It is like technically the second fastest version of the game, but there's one main reason I run this version specifically as opposed to the console version of the game, which you're about to see in a second, which is this right here. The fact that you can skip door animations. This cuts about 20 minutes out of the run, which is fantastic. But first we're coming up on a cutscene here.
What is this?
What is it?
Blood. Jill, see if you can find any other clues. I'll be examining this. Hope this is not Chris's blood.
But anyways, I'm going to be letting cutscenes play while I do the run because they're absolutely fantastic. And if you've never seen them, you're in for one heck of a treat. Oh shoot, I accidentally looked at Kent's body. I don't really need to look at that.
Barry?
What is it?
Watch out! It's a monster!
Let me take care of this. What is it?
Kenneth was killed too. Maybe by this creature. Anyway, let's report this to Wesker.
Alright, so we kind of need to get this introductory section done, which is just introducing the fact that there's zombies in the mansion. But now we have to go look for Wesker, which apparently he's gone.
Wesker!
Did not take long for that to happen.
Help me look for him, Jill. And don't
So
leave us home
now we're going to
until
do a
I-
thorough investigation looking for Wesker in the mansion. And we didn't find him.
Find anything, Jill?
Nothing. What is this all about? I can't figure it out at all.
Beats me too.
Now it's Wesker's time to disappear. I don't know what's going on.
Well, it can't be helped. Let's search for him separately. I'll check the dining room again.
Okay, I'll try the door on the opposite side.
This mansion is gigantic. We could get into trouble if we get lost. We should start from the first floor, okay? And Jill, here's a lockpick. It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.
Jill is the master of unlocking.
Thanks. Maybe I'll need
She
it.
worked hard for that title. And even though Barry's the one with the lockpick,
Listen.
you'll find that this game has a lot of convenient things that are kind of given to you, or people have. But anyways, now that this is over, I'm going to kind of explain the category, because it's Jill any percent glitchless. This means we're playing as Jill, which Jill and Chris are the 2 playable characters in the game. But their routes are actually very different, because certain puzzles are changed, certain keys are different, and different character interactions happen. Any percent means I'm just going for the basic ending, also scary dogs. So what we're going to be doing is just getting a basic ending, which means nobody survives except for Jill. True ending means everyone survives, which would be Chris and Barry, which requires some extra exploration that we don't need to do, and some extra items to pick up. And glitchless, I'll explain a little. Hold on, I messed that up on accident. Gotta put my gun and my pistol away. I know this run is called Shots Fired, but we're gonna be doing a lot of dodging as opposed to combat, but it's okay, because we will be firing shots. As a matter of fact, we'll be firing about 16 of them during the entire run. So now we're gonna do some intentional damage here. We have to, it's the fastest way to get past the zombie. And now we're gonna do some more dodging. One thing, if I haven't really mentioned it, is that the zombies in this game are very easy to dodge. Like that, for example. So we'll be doing that a lot. Their AI is very basic and easy to manipulate.
What's going on? Any clues?
No, but something's wrong with this house.
Whoa. This hall is dangerous. Maybe it's better to secure our escape route first. There must be a back door somewhere. Let's try to find it first, shall we?
Okay, let's separate again.
Just a moment. I found something.
What is it?
It's a weapon. It's really powerful, especially against living things. Better take it with you.
But how about you, Barry?
I have this.
Thank you. I'll take this then.
He's gonna give us a quote-unquote weapon, which is actually just ammunition, which is for a gun we don't even have yet. So, thanks, Barry. But it's not a big deal because we are going to be getting the gun next, and it's the only gun we use in the entire game for this route. I know that seems disappointing, but it's the only really useful one that Jill has. But we gotta be careful, because we want to pick up the gun, but we don't want to look at Forrest's dead body, otherwise it triggers crows to attack us, and that's not what we want to have happen. So now we have the bazooka, the only gun we're going to be using. It has 3 ammunition types, and we're only going to use 2 of them. So here we're going to do some menuing, just to clear things up. And equip the bazooka. One big thing about this, as I mentioned, is inventory. So the order we pick things up and how we use them is kind of optimized so that we can do minimal amounts of menuing just to save little bits of time. The menus in this game are incredibly fast, but still, we don't want to waste a lot of time doing that. Also, we're going to dodge. Ah, shoot, he just threw up on me. That's just disgusting. Anyways, but we do want to be dodging most of these enemies, not just because it's faster, but they do a lot of damage. And I should mention one thing that's different about Resident Evil 1 versus later Resident Evil games is that damage doesn't affect your movement speed. Oh, stupid. But, you know, you still gotta be paying attention because you don't want to die. It's not easy to die in this game, but you still gotta be careful. Anyways, so now I need to go back to explaining glitched versus glitchless, because this is a significant area that's different. Glitched refers to just a lot of sequence breaks that can happen using some weird tricks involving things like pause canceling and cutscenes canceling or whatever. It's very difficult to do in a single segment run, so it's not very marathon friendly, and it's kind of, a lot of them are very difficult to pull off, consistently anyways. So that's why we do glitchless, because it's more fun and a lot less risky category. There is one thing that's kind of sort of a glitch that we'll be using, but I'll explain that later on. But it's not really labeled a glitch because it's not like significant enough versus the glitched tricks that you do. Because in glitched you can actually skip getting the plant that you use on, or the chemical that you use on that plant in the previous room. But that plant gives us access to a key, which, if you've played a Resident Evil game, you know the best way to get the game started is to find one key, and then you have access to like 1,000 different things. So that's what we need to be doing there. So now we're going to get this emblem here, and swap it out with the fake one that we grabbed at the beginning of the game. Because if we don't, we're going to be stuck in here. Anyways. Let's turn around and get out of here. Also, one other thing that's different is Jill actually knows how to play the piano. If you play as Chris, you actually have to get Rebecca to play the piano. And we're also going to drop this gold emblem here. Now, this is going to give us access to another key, but we're not going to grab it right away. We're going to grab it on the way back, because we're going to come through this room one more time. That's, again, just comes down to picking up items in inventory kind of thing. Oh, that was perfect. The picking up items in this game and, like, places where you can use items is really kind of iffy. So the fact that that worked out there was really nice. And I didn't actually examine the broken statue instead. Alright, so now we're coming up on a little side quest we have to do before we can progress the game further.
Richard, what happened?
Oh, Jill, this house is dangerous. There are terrible demons. Ouch!
You're wounded. What kind of demon attacked you?
It was a huge snake and also poisonous. Ugh.
Richard, hold on.
There is serum. Oh no, I should have brought some with me.
No problem. I'll go and get it.
Thanks.
Anyways, so now we gotta go get serum for Richard, and spoilers, it's totally not gonna help him out whatsoever. Because you'd think a man who was bit by a snake with, you know, teeth marks that deep into his chest is probably not going to live regardless of what you do. But we're gonna try anyways, because Richard's our friend. Now we're gonna actually grab that key over here. We're going to need this. Alright. We're gonna go back to a couple different areas, and we're also gonna do another, hopefully do another dodge here. Alright, yeah. These zombies are really pushovers. In other Resident Evil games, their attack patterns and movement patterns are a lot different. So, they're really basic in this game as compared to like Resident Evil 2 or 3, and that's something you'll notice in other Resident Evil speedruns, is that enemy patterns become a lot different, a lot more varied. This game, they're all very basic. Another thing I should mention is that there is no like real luck in this game. Pretty much every thing you do in this game is based on your own execution, which kind of makes it fun to play. There's like 2 sections where RNG is actually a thing, but it's not significant enough to cause the run to be slower or faster. It's just kind of one of those things. So we gotta get past the puking zombies again. And dude, I'm just soaked in vomit right now. This is awful. They're actually usually pretty easy to get around. But yeah, this game is the sole exception. Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 enemy behavior is a little more random at points. So now we're gonna go give Richard his serum.
Here's the serum. Richard, hold on. I'll give you a shot now.
Jill, here's my radio. You should keep it. I'm...
No! Richard!
Jill, be careful.
Alrighty, so now we're coming up on probably the most significant dodge in the game. And I really don't want to screw it up, so I'm going to kind of focus on it, and I'll explain what it is afterwards. Because we're coming up on the snake, also known as Yawn. So just let me focus and hopefully not screw this up. Alright, that's good. Up. Come on. Oh god! Whew. That almost didn't work. Alright, so that's significant. We just skipped having to fight Yawn, which is really good because it saves us ammo, it saves us time. And on top of that, that got us the, one of the crests, because we need to collect 4 crests. That's the main thing we have to do in this part of the game. Because each one has, like, different kind of main objectives to do. Getting the 4 crests is the first thing we have to really do to progress the game further. And so we didn't have to fight the snake, and we got the crest. And if we had gotten bitten there, we would have been brought back all the way to the room where the serum is. And that would have cost us about a minute of time. That's no fun. So we have 3 out of the 4 crests now. We're going to go to the last room to get it, the last one. Dodge another zombie there. Dodge that one. That's the easiest dodge in the game right there. And so, like, one thing with the enemy behavior is that they kind of just stand still for a bit. If you run directly at them, they're going to grab you, but it takes a second for their arms to come out to actually reach for you, so you can kind of utilize that in certain dodges. Come on. This puzzle's really dumb. Like, it's kind of iffy, like where you can hit the switches to do them. Also, if you fire a shot in this room, the crows will go crazy. We really don't want to do that because they're really annoying. But we solved the puzzle and now we have the 4th crest, so now we can move on to the next part of the game. And also, we're gonna fire another shot here soon, because I know you guys are really anticipating that. And the reason we do it here is to kill this zombie, because he's just kind of in the way. It's easier to just deal with him that way. You'll actually dodge him if you play with Chris, because there's no easy way to kill him. So now we're just gonna menu really fast and get these crests into place. So now we can go onto this part of the room. Now we're gonna push this little step ladder because we're gonna get what is one of the most iconic items in any classic Resident Evil game, which is the crank. It's so iconic that every single one of the games has this item in it. And it's matter of fact, it's such a hype item that there's actually 2 in the game. Isn't that exciting? You get to use 2 cranks. But they're used for different areas of the game. Alright, so those are dogs. Dogs, you saw them earlier in the game. They are the only really random enemy in the games because where they are and where they go is kind of... Oh, that didn't work. Where they are and where they go is kind of random. Usually it's not a huge issue. Like I said, there's only 2 major areas where it can kind of be a problem. But overall, they're not that bad. Now here comes one of the hardest things to explain in this entire game. Because we're going to go to the other side, and all of a sudden snakes are falling out of the sky. So yeah, kind of scary game. Anyways, we're going to get past these dogs here. That's kind of random. This is the only section in the game, I think, that dog position being random is kind of annoying. And that, oh my god, I got really lucky there. I got good dog position, so I could just run past them pretty easy. Another shot being fired here. We're gonna pick up this book. We're gonna need it for another section of the game to solve a puzzle. And we're gonna drain this nasty bathtub for a key. Alrighty. Oh, what am I doing? Wrong way. Alright, so normally there's this nasty tentacle here that just grabs onto Jill. Normally you're supposed to push a statue over to get to cover it up and get past it, but it's faster just to get grabbed by it and shake off. It's only one little tentacle on the ground. Alrighty. Now we're gonna make use of this key right here and discard it. Now we got another section we need to explore here. So we're just gonna half push these bookshelves to get to it. And now we're on to what might be the most boring puzzle in the entire game. It's a box pushing puzzle, but a really, really long box pushing puzzle. Because I know, you know, everyone loves these kinds of things. So we're just gonna go ahead and push this down for a bit. I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee here. Really exciting stuff. Super fast game right here. Shots fired to reloaded. Alright. Oh, nope, don't do that. Also, I hope you like looping music, because it's just basically what this entire game is really poorly looped music. Okay, so one thing I also forgot to mention is one of the differences between Jill and Chris, other than how the route of the game is that Jill actually has less health than Chris. Chris can take way more damage, and Chris also has a larger hitbox than Jill does. So certain dodges are a little trickier. But, for this game, it's really not going to mean anything because dodging is so simple, and even if I do screw up, you know, there's plenty of health items around inconvenient locations, but realistically I shouldn't mess up a whole lot. So now we're going to drain this water because it's making me go really slow, and there's sharks in the water too, which is kind of scary. I forgot to mention that since this is a survival horror game and it is pretty early in the morning, I apologize if this is the first thing you're seeing and it scares you. It's not a good way to start the day. Alright, so now we're going to pick up this key right here, which we need to go back, or when we get back into the guardhouse. And now the sharks are just kind of flopping around. The shark sequence in the remastered version of this game is way more intimidating, by the way. Alright. Alright, so we're gonna go back into this room, and we're gonna make use of that book we picked up earlier. Just gotta read through this real quick, but unfortunately I can't read Japanese, so we're not gonna bother. We're gonna put this book in its place. And now, remember that tentacle that grabbed us earlier? We're gonna go ahead and fight the thing responsible for it. Alright, so one thing I was doing there, by the way, is a technique I kind of mentioned earlier, which is quick shots. It's not really a glitch, it's a kind of animation cancel, so that's why it's allowed in Glitchless. But it basically allows you to shoot your gun faster than waiting on it to fully recover from recoil. It's only a little bit faster, but it saves like a couple seconds on certain sections. This is also one of my favorite cutscenes of the game, because Barry conveniently comes into this room with a flamethrower. Here goes my favorite line in the game coming up right here.
You saved me.
Yeah.
That was close. Thanks, Barry.
Don't mention it. What a monster. I can't believe... What the hell is this place anyway?
Okay, so now we gotta pick up this key. And I forgot to mention, unfortunately, everyone knows the iconic dialogue scene in this game is the Jill sandwich remark. You don't actually see it during the run, because that would require us to pick up the shotgun, which is useless. And time for another cutscene.
Wesker.
Jill, so you're safe.
That's what I was going to say. Where on earth have you been? You disappeared from the hall all of a sudden.
I'm sorry, but I have my reasons. Perhaps you guys have met them? It was all I could do to protect myself against those strange creatures.
Is that right? Anyway, it's good to see you're safe.
Jill, our first priority is to get out of here.
Yes, you're right.
Now, there are a lot of rooms in that mansion that we can't get into because they're locked up. I have been looking around for clues.
Okay, I'll go to the other house and see if I can find any clues.
Will you do that? I'm counting on you.
Alrighty. So now we're gonna go back to the mansion. Also, I'm gonna pick up something here I don't really need, but I'm gonna grab it just in case one particular part of this game goes badly. I'd rather just have it for safety. You don't need to get that first aid spray if you're actually good, but since this is a marathon and there's one trick that I'm kind of inconsistent with, I'd rather just have it for safety. But now we're going to go back to the mansion, and the mansion is going to introduce a new type of enemy to the game, which casually is an enemy everyone hates because they're very aggressive and very dangerous, which is known as the Hunter. Because we haven't faced enough monsters in the game, and snakes coming from the sky isn't scary enough. Get past these dogs real quick. Oh my god, I got stuck. Yeah, the one thing I forgot to mention is movement's kind of iffy in this game because where, like, collision is on certain things is kind of cramped and really hard to tell at times. But yeah, we're gonna introduce the Hunter here. Big scary monster. And the best part about it is that you can just pretty much run past all of them. They're actually really easy to get around. There's another one. Let me dodge this one. Ah, he got me. What a guy. That one's kind of iffy at times to dodge. And now we're going on to a boss fight, and we're gonna fire more shots. We're gonna use the acid rounds this time, though, and hopefully we'll only use 4 of them. I say that because if I miss a quick shot, I might accidentally miss one of them. But yeah, that's Yawn. Alright, cool. So I missed my quick shots, but I didn't get bit, which is nice.
Jill, have you found anything interesting?
I love this because there's a gigantic snake melting as he asks that question. It's like, what do you think is interesting in this room right now?
I have a rope here.
Oh, do you? Well, then I'll try to go down using the rope.
Wait.
Hey, what's going on?
Now I've done it. Sorry, Jill. Wait. I'll go and get another rope.
Alrighty.
Barry?
So normally to get the good ending, we would want to wait on Barry to bring us back the rope, but we're gonna just go explore stuff instead. Because I like adventure. Alrighty. Another zombie dodge coming up here. Just gotta stay to the side and we should be good. Oh, I totally missed that turn. Alright, so here's one zombie on the floor. You could actually dodge that zombie if you're careful, but it's easier just to shoot him because getting around him the other way is kind of hard. And there we go. Now we're out of acid rounds. So we're going to pick up this battery because we're going to need it for a really monotonous section of the game. And we're going to pick up these explosives so we have more ammo because we want to obviously fire more shots at some point. Anyways, so this is one of those sections where movement's kind of awkward because of where things are placed. Now we're going to do a dodge right here that looks a lot harder than it actually is. And I screwed it up. Well, I'm a fraud right now. Gosh darn it, Rip Chip, you did it again. You lied to the people. That dodge is actually usually really easy as long as you can open the door, but it's a little bit iffy. So now we're back in this part of the mansion. It's the last time we're going to go through the dining hall. And remember how there were dogs in this hallway earlier? After this doorway? Well, now the enemies are changed here as well, and we have spiders. Thank God we don't have to stay here very long because they're really creepy. Abnormally large spiders. And now here comes another hunter. To keep with the theme, we're just going to run past him. And this is my favorite hunter dodge, because you just kind of turn to the left and you're good. You run at him face first and then just turn. It's like you're looking into the eyes of danger. But now we're going to do a kind of monotonous section of the game, which requires us to go activate an elevator, and then we drain the water with the crank originally, but we're going to fill it back up so we can get to another section. And the only way we can do this and make it work is if we have the elevator we're going to activate. I should say that like the puzzles and like items are kind of sprawled out in weird places in this game, but it's not as bad as other Resident Evil games. Like Resident Evil 3, I think. I'm right in front of the battery. What are you doing? This game can be like that sometimes. But yeah, it's not as bad as like Resident Evil 3 where you have to do puzzles that make no sense to get like items halfway across this Raccoon City. There was luck there. This is annoying, but you can't really do anything about that. This is kind of why I had the first aid spray in case something stupid happens. But, it's not the worst backtracking. I think the worst backtracking in a Resident Evil game is the stuff you have to do in Code Veronica, but that's fine because Code Veronica is a fucking terrible game, so. And this is also the most finicky, like, switch hit you have to do in the entire game. Because you'd think just going on the elevator would activate it, but you have to be in a really, really, like, oddly specific spot to make it work. So now we're underground. And we're gonna also come across soon one of my favorite dialogue exchanges in the entire game. As if all of them weren't golden as it is.
Is that Jill?
Is Is that voice Enrico's?
Yeah?
You're alive!
Wait there. Are you with anybody, Jill?
What? What? Oh no, I'm alone. But why are you asking?
Listen, the stars are going to be finished soon. Someone is a traitor. Everything was plotted from the start by Umbrella.
I mean, it is, but here's the thing. This Resident Evil is significantly easier than the rest of the Resident Evils. They get progressively harder as you go further into the series. As far as speedrunning goes, Resident Evil 2 is my favorite, but it's still got some really difficult sections. Alright, there's our second crank. Super excited. Okay, there's another hunter. Again, really easy to get around. And we got another hunter dodge here. This is kind of iffy, but I got the corner, so we're good. And now we're going to make use of this second crank. Which, hold on. I don't know if, I don't remember exactly what the differentiating factor between the two of them is. I think the tip of the crank is different, like a different shape. So that's how you're supposed to figure out to use it. But the normal crank doesn't look, or doesn't work on this one. And that's another thing I forgot to mention is when Enrico gets shot, I think my favorite part about that is he ends up getting hit, bleeding, and screaming before the gunshot actually goes off. Also, here's a boulder. It's going to get really loud, so just be ready. And now we're going on to one of my least favorite parts of the entire game, which is Black Tiger. Hopefully this goes well. Hopefully I don't get poisoned. But we don't actually want to fight Black Tiger. Okay, I got hit. That's not a big deal though, because I still have the first aid spray. It's more of an issue if I get poisoned, because when he spits at you, there is a chance you'll get poisoned, but it's not consistent. It just kind of happens sometimes. So you'll randomly get poisoned, and it's not a big deal because there's blue herbs before we go into the laboratory section, but it kind of puts your health back a lot, so you don't really want to do that. But yeah, Black Tiger is kind of annoying. So you just gotta turn this crank 3 times so we can get to the next section, so we can get another book. We've gotten 1 book already. We need to get 2 of them in order to get to the laboratory, because the books themselves aren't just books, they actually have things inside of them that we need. And I'm not talking about knowledge. Alright, so the statue push, you actually want to push it 4.5 times so that the wall pushes it and you can push it afterwards, because normally you're supposed to push it, have the wall push it out, and then you can turn the wall back so you can push this over here, but this saves a little bit of time. And there's our next book. Alrighty, there's the blue herbs, by the way, if we needed them. Glad we didn't, because that could be bad. So we're just gonna look at this book, open it up, and get the emblem. And putting them in here, like, the area where you can actively use the token is really awkward. So there's a good chance I might not use it properly. Nope, we got it good. So now we're gonna go to the last major section of the game, which is the laboratory. So now we're going down. Alright, so... Oops, wrong way. These zombies are really easy to get around. They're gonna throw up at me. But we're going to go into one section, and we're supposed to go and look for computer information to put in this computer, but the information you put in is the same every time you play it. So we have to input a password for the computer to unlock the basement area. So I'm just gonna take a guess is John is the main name, and Oh, shoot, that was an accident. I mishit my keys. Alright, so this is gonna waste like 15 seconds or so. I apologize. I got so nervous. I don't like, you know, hacking is so risky, and like if I screw it up, they're gonna find me. I'm gonna be in serious trouble. So I got scared, but I'm a little more collected now. I'm confident I can do this. That was actually a horrible mistake to make. There we go. And the password's Ada, by the way. Alrighty, and I'm gonna guess this password is mole, because we're underground. Oh, what a lucky guess! So now basement 2 is unlocked, which is what we need to be doing, or what we need to get to. Alright, so now we're done here. We're gonna go upstairs, and we need to grab another item. Before we do, what is the most... probably the second scariest dodge in the game. I might not actually do it. I might go for a safer strat now that I think about it, but... you know what? I have full health. I'll go for it. I don't think it... the chances of me actually dying to it are really low, so... it's just more annoying because I'll have low health if I don't get this. But now we have a key we need. We're gonna go for this. I'm gonna focus a second. These naked zombies are really annoying. Okay, we got it. Oh my god. So the thing that sucks about RE1 is that when you throw off zombies, they don't shrug off. So other zombies can immediately grab you, and that area in particular, you can just get bit a lot if you're not careful. So it's really scary if you don't get that dodge. So I'm actually glad I got it. This section's really loud and annoying, I apologize. And also we have a new enemy, which we don't really see that much. They're actually really easy to get around. Just like every other enemy in this game. So we need to activate this. Okay, I got hit there and that's not a big deal. Alrighty, and now we're going to go on to the last boss fight of the game. But we have to meet up with Barry, and we have to get through a really long cutscene beforehand, which has some great dialogue exchange.
I was looking for you.
Because,
Barry.
yeah, the cutscenes in this game are golden. Seriously, the best part about this game is that any route you take, the dialogue is all equally awful and really amusing.
Did when you dropped that rope.
The dialogue exchanges between Chris and Rebecca, and Chris's route is absolutely fantastic.
Wesker.
You did a fine job, Barry.
Uh-oh, betrayal!
As I thought.
I think you should stay away from Barry, Jill. I hear that his wife and 2 daughters will be in danger if he doesn't do everything I tell him to.
You are so cruel.
Well, you don't have to worry about anything.
But again, as I said before, though, since somebody mentioned it, I don't really pay attention to chat for this, but there is only like one section of RNG. Everything else is very much consistent and manipulatable, so anything that happens isn't going to be based on RNG. It's going to be based on how you play.
Stars nosing about. So inconvenient. So you're
And again, for anyone who didn't mention it, this is glitchless. Glitched is different. It's faster, but there's a lot of things that can go badly with it and waste a lot of time, so I don't bother doing it. Glitchless is way more fun and more competitive, so...
I must complete my mission, as ordered by Umbrella. Barry, go up on the ground and wait there.
Barry.
Also, I really hope you guys like this music. It is absolutely fantastic and
Barry's
ambient.
such a fool. He'll be under the control of Umbrella forever.
How come both Umbrella and you can intimidate him by taking his family as hostages?
Umbrella? Well, I intimidated him, but it had nothing to do with Umbrella. I just used him for my personal purposes, though both you and Barry seem to think I was following orders from Umbrella.
So you're planning something else?
If you succeeded in developing the world's most powerful biological weapon, what would you do? What if you were in charge?
You must stop this now.
You're a brave girl. But if I were you, I wouldn't give up such a big discovery. You guys are idiots. No one understands its real value.
So, you're going to steal all the research?
Better yet, I'm going to show you the tyrant.
Alrighty, so now we're gonna go into the Tyrant. So if anyone's familiar with what the Tyrant is, he's kind of like the boss of this, and a lot of enemies are based on him later on in the game, or in the franchise. What you don't know is the actual story behind the Tyrant, and why I have an FFZ emote related to him in my on my channel. So the main story, I bullshitted this just randomly once when I was playing the game, is that Tyrant was actually like she said, a real person. He was actually a chef for Umbrella. His name was Jerry, and he was kind of disgruntled and really unhappy. So Umbrella approached him with an opportunity and said, hey, we want to help us out with research. And so he's like, yeah, dude, I want to take this up, fuck the kitchen. And so they did that, and they turned him into the Tyrant, and that's the story of how he came to be. Chef Jerry got turned into a monster. What a horrible turn of events. And if you thought one point of betrayal wasn't enough in this game, we're about to have another one.
What? Don't come this way! No!
Alright, so now we actually have to kill this final boss, this super gigantic monster. It's a very, very difficult boss fight.
He can't control what it does.
Okay, I actually missed the last quick shot, but that's not a huge deal because my health is still pretty high. Yep, that was the boss, by the way. Shots fired. And if you guys were, you know, expecting any more shots to be fired in the game, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but that's the end of the shooting. Because we're almost at the end of the game. Alright, here's a Chimera. We're gonna dodge him. There we go. And one last series of dodges we have to do, which are all really easy because they vomit. And now here comes a very, very sad scene, everybody.
Jill. It's you.
Barry?
I'm really embarrassed to see you now. Just leave me. Go quickly.
It's over, Barry. Wesker's dead.
Is that so? Jill, will you do me a favor? This is my last wish. Please give this photo to my family. Will you?
Sure.
For the record, I fired 16 shots.
Jill.
Also, I just want to take a second to point out that Barry, like, almost looks like Jack Black in that picture with an afro. Alright, so now we're gonna get the hell out of here.
This is Brad. Running out of fuel. If there is anyone alive, contact me now, okay? This is
Alrighty. We have to pick up one more thing, one more item, which is a battery that's conveniently lying on the floor. Even though somebody could have just had the courtesy to put it right there. Probably some prankster at the office. And you know, I feel kind of bad. I feel like I've kind of sold you guys short on this game. So you know what? Here. There you go, I fired my last shot. And now we're gonna use this. Alright, time's gonna come up once this goes to the next major cutscene. I'll let you guys know what it is. So be ready on that. I guess I did fire 15 shots. I thought I fired 14. Wow, I'm such a liar. I tricked you guys. This in-game time is gonna be so bad, but that's fine. I had fun. I also like did this an hour after I woke up, so this is kind of nice that I got most of the dodges. Alright, and get ready on time. And time. Alrighty, so that was Resident Evil. Of course, we're gonna get the shitty ending of the game because we didn't save Chris or Barry. And Jill's just gonna kind of fly away. All disappointed and stuff. Get to see how long her hair actually is. 45 minutes, that's actually not bad in real time. Yeah, she's tricked us all. She has really long hair. So yeah, enough of that. Let's see what the endgame time is. Oh, by the way, since this isn't the true ending, yeah, we got this monster right here. If you got the true ending of the game, you'd actually fight Tyrant one more time. What was my endgame time? I'm actually curious. Oh my god, that's actually not really as bad as I thought it was. 41:53. Thanks to everyone who watched. Thanks for everyone who, or the guys who accepted this run. I will be doing more runs on Saturday. This is my only run for today. So, this was fun. Shoutouts to Pieman and Mass Hypnosis who kind of helped me get into this. And yeah, now that's done, enjoy the rest of the marathon. I'm gonna go get drunk and raid Chuck E. Cheese. You guys have a great day.
Okay, so